Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. This is a randomizer for Final Fantasy VI. I am Saberwolf. I am joined by the Swans. How you doing, bud?
Hey, it's a race day here at Speed Gaming 2. We are doing Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. It's an open world Final Fantasy VI or 3, if for those of you in the US.
For us old school people, yeah.
Where basically everything is randomized. The characters that you start with, what their abilities are, where the bosses are, what's on each of the different pieces of Magitek that you earn, what the spells cost. So it should be an intriguing match here. We have a final for one of our pods in our Battle Royale tournament. We have Doesn't versus Ficta, and this is the finals of our Doom pod. Some of the other Guardian pod, excuse me. Yeah, and we should have a good race here. What do our racers have to do in order to beat the game here?
Well, what our racers have to do to beat the game here is they need 9 characters along with 9 espers. Now, there is a shortcut that's also built in for them that's also available. If they get 9 characters or 12 espers, they can skip all the way ahead to the switches of Final Kefka. This is week 5, so in this week, if you've been following along with our Battle Royale 2022, the flags got a little bit more narrow. We've gone from 10,000 gold to 5,000 gold, and now they only start with 2,500 gold. Also, let me pull the other flags here. Dead checks do count towards the leveling of the seeds. The seed levels do go up, and there's no free progression. So some of the characters that have you just walk up to a certain point and just automatically get their check, those are actually going to be automatically dead, and those do count to the end total. We didn't have that in the early stages, but we have that now starting with this races. And also the max scaling level has gone from 45 to 50, so now there's the higher cap, so the boss is going to be a little bit harder towards the end of the game.
The bosses also have 10 extra levels as soon as our characters spawn in to the airship, so that should make for an intriguing counterbalance of, yeah, I can get really good top-tier items by going to those dead checks, but that also means I'm going to make my bosses harder the very first time that I go for a boss check.
Also, the shops are tiered. Also, I forgot to mention that. The shops are also item tiered as well, or level progression tiered, or something like that.
All right. So I am telling the racers that it's time to go, and the race has started, so we'll see them click over here in just a second. We'll find out what we're working with, Saberwolf, to start off the game here. We do start with 3 characters, so immediately right off the bat, we're going to see who our first 3 characters are. We only have to recruit 3 more characters and find 9 espers to defeat Final Kefka, and that is obviously the goal of the randomizer. Everything in the world is randomized. The chests that you find are randomized. The shops are randomized. The money that you have to spend on items are randomized. However, the stats for the weapons and for magic and abilities are not randomized.
Yeah, that's correct. And we do have a couple of little extra objectives here as available as our race is off and running like a thundering herd of turtles. Again, plus 10 boss levels. So the bosses are already plus 10. So technically, I believe that means they are level, what is that? 17, I think it is? Level 15?
Well, they've done 0 checks, so they're technically level 10 now. Once they do 1 check, they'll be level 12 and a half or so. Once they do 2 checks, they'll be 15. Because it's checks times 2.5. And we started off with Mog, and both of our runners are basically in sync, going to check out what's in the Nar's shed here, and activating Lone Wolf. So that's one of my... Oh, we got lots of Skrilla in the chests here.
Woo! Yeah, so I was going to say, don't fix your screen, because this is 2 separate runners. This is Dusty and Ficta. And yeah, so one other thing to note is we do have some other objectives, like I was mentioning before. As we see a Tiger Mask, Mystery Veil, they're okay items, not great items. But if you do the thief in Tizen to try to get an item or esper from them, or if you go to the auction house to get one of those espers or any items for the auction house, the scaling does go up by another +10. So there is a penalty if you do either of those checks. And there's a couple other ones, like there's Dragoon. You can get Dragoon gear by doing the Zozo clock. Now, the Zozo clock's actually randomized. It is not the vanilla clock. It's not the, help me, 61050?
61050, yes.
Yep,
that is
61050. I remembered. Ha! It's not the 61050 that's in vanilla. That's actually randomized as well. So you're going to have to talk to the citizens who all lie, except for the clock, to try to figure out the puzzle to get those items.
Yeah, so the auction house is actually a dead check because of the flag here, and we do see from the Collision in a pair of fixed dice. So in this flag set, we are running original equipment plus 33% random, and since we have Setzer, who could in vanilla equip the fixed dice, that is a great find to get very early on.
And we got my girl, Celeste, to start with. I'm always happy to see Celeste.
Yeah, so there's another set of fixed dice from Ficta in the returner's hideout. So this is a gambling seed so far. With all the money we found in the shed plus the dice, are we going to the casino or are we playing Worlds Collide here?
Well, I mean, we might see the Coliseum. I have not seen the Coliseum actually really used in any of these battle royales, to be honest.
Yeah, so the Coliseum, the rewards and the enemies are also randomized, so there's a lot of randomization going on here. There's the Thunder Shield in Nikea. If it's normally in a shop or a chest, then we may not see it. The Mega Elixir, Ice Shield, Genji Glove, Ribbons. Wow.
What is going on? What did you roll? Okay, Swans did do the rolling of this. Okay, I am I'm exempt from that one.
So we could have our double throwing dice Setzer here to start off. So another interesting thing about Worlds Collide, if you've never seen this before, is that the concept of character gating. So depending upon which characters are in your party, can tell you which world events or checks are open to you. So think of it as in the vanilla game. For example, Setzer, you recruit him in the World of Ruin at the Kolingen Inn. So that's one of his checks or world events, what you get Setzer. Same thing with Celeste with the Opera House and the Magitek Factory. So we will see where our runners decide to go. But the first 10-ish minutes or so of a seed is usually shopping and looting. Ficta in the World of Ruin South Figaro doesn't in the World of Balance South Figaro.
We did see a pair of dragon boots actually in the relic shop in Ficta's World of Ruin South Figaro, and an experience egg and a dragon horn in the World of Balance South Figaro. So we have a full dragoon here.
Yeah, so just an interesting thing to note, the South Figaro exterior chests, the ones on the outside of town here, they are different between the World of Ruin and World of Balance. So Ficta is not going to get those chests unless he goes to the World of Balance. Now, the interior chests, like the one at the bottom of this back door here in the clock, that is the same for both World of Balance and World of Ruin. Atma weapons for sale in the shop there. You want to kind of explain Atma weapons' place in Worlds Collide?
Yeah, so Atma weapon, thanks to our Atma, who helped remake the game into a randomizer, buffed actually the Atma weapon, because in the original game, the progression of the original game is a lot slower. You get a lot more levels, so the Atma weapon, it has a very higher end theme to it. But for the Worlds Collide, we've actually narrowed that leveling gap to its effectiveness with health and levels like that, all the way down to around 32. So instead of being like level in the high 50s, you only have to be in the levels like 30s to really make it effective.
All right, so Ficta's very smart there. Did you see what he did? He took the save point in the South Figaro basement, looked to see what the reward was, the dead check, and it was a snow muffler. He didn't think it was worth it, so he reset out of it. Because remember, every check you do increases the scaling of the enemies and the bosses that you have. So since Doesn't actually has 2 checks under his belt. Remember, he went to the Kolingen Inn and he did the cell. The enemies are level 2 times 2.5, or quick maths here. That's what, 6-ish? 5, right?
Yeah, it's
I'm
2.5,
terrible
so
without that.
it's 2.5 each. So
right. So Ficta right now has technically 0 checks. So his enemies will be at level 3. Now his
Plus 10.
bosses will be at just the regular enemies are.
Regular enemies. Yeah,
The regular enemies are at 3. The bosses are at plus 10. We have Shock on Celeste, and we have Runic on Setzer, with Capture on Mog. So again, abilities are randomized in the randomizer. So they are both taking some grind fights here to get some levels early to try and scale past the bosses a little bit. And Shock is going to make things very easy in the early game. It's a very powerful ability through most of the early and mid game. So if you remember from the vanilla game, it was what you got to use for General Leo for the brief time that he was in your party before, spoiler alert, Kefka did him in. So Shock will carry you through most of the early and mid game. I mean, the game's 28 years old.
I know.
But yeah, so it kind of tails off more towards the end of the seed as you get more spells and abilities that can deal weaknesses to bosses. Shock sort of falls off in its usefulness, but it's still very useful, especially with Celeste. And the stats are within 100 to 110% of what they are in vanilla. So Celeste is pretty good magic power in vanilla. Shock is based off of your magic power, so therefore Shock will be pretty good early going.
Yeah, and Celeste is a mid-tier, as we find a economizer there in one of the basement, third level basement with a hero ring as well.
Yeah, so economizer is great early. Economizer is great early on because it reduces the spell cost of everything to 1. And yeah, level magics are usually not something you want to fight because they only reward only reward magic and they don't reward XP. They doesn't squeaks through that fight. So he's putting the Moogle Charm on back right now because he doesn't want any more fixed encounters to potentially kill him.
Dice?
Yeah, he's got Genji Glove and 2 fixed dice, one from Kolingen and one from the Returner side out. Unfortunately, he's got no antidotes, so this screen is going to pixelate your mind now. So for those who don't want your eyes to bleed, send your attention to Ficta's screen where we have the spicy chicken. Who's hungry?
That was accidental. That sometimes if you're flying around in the world of Ruin and you have Setzer, even if you don't have Setzer in your party, you might run into the Doomgaze, kind of floating boss check there, or you can actually force it when you have Setzer in the party to actually get it. But if you're just flying around the world of Ruin, there is a possibility that you might just activate that on its own randomly, as Ficta is going to get their fixed dice from this automatic dead check, free check.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying
doesn't actually is going to go heal at the pot here because he's got absolutely no antidotes.
I think Ficta forgot about the free check dead check thing because that's the second one he just noped out of that one as well.
Yeah, I mean, some runners tend to not like fixed dice because this is a speed race after all, and fixed dice are on the slower side of things, but they are a more powerful weapon. Their damage model is based off of whatever it is you roll, plus a combination of your level, and so it doesn't scale like normal weapons would do, but that guy needs to get out of his way. But yeah, very interesting to see him just reset out of the dead checks. Maybe he's very scared about the leveling here. So,
and nothing on Yumaro looks like either. It's a blank, or it's an item, or it's a Esper there, not a character.
Yeah, so in the little hidey hole, you could see what the reward is at the Umaro check. If it's a character, that'll be your character. If not, then it's either an Esper or an item. In this flag set with the no free progression turned on, it'll most likely be an Esper. There's not very many spots that are dead checks when you distribute them over to all of the places that have no encounters. We're seeing what Lone Wolf is here, and we will probably get a Kefka at Narsh as well. And it is a soldier sprite on the ground, so it's not a character. So Lone Wolf will ask you to either pick the soldier to save or a top tier item. Let's see what Doesn't Goes with here.
It's a force shield, so that's not a great item to get. So we'll take a gamble on the Esper instead.
Yeah,
Oh no,
we
this
already
is
have
gonna be
a.
dead.
Yeah, we already. No, it won't be dead. Mog's check
Oh,
is
Phantom,
not
sorry.
dead. Yeah, Mog's check is not dead because all of the characters that have singular checks can't have dead checks due to code logic.
Right, because
and
of
blah, blah, blah.
progression blocking. Yeah.
Yeah, so we already found a force shield in one of the Figaros, so no surprise he takes Phantom there. Not really great spells, but Phantom will be useful in the final battle later on as either a protection from everything that Tier 1 throws at you, from 10 hits, or perhaps even calmness protection in case we get absolutely nothing else. So it's Kefka at Narsh time, and unfortunately only with a team of 3. That means you're going to have to fight the boss with 2 users instead of 3, or even 4. So we'll see what the boss is here. But as I mentioned earlier, bosses are easier earlier in the flag set, and they get much harder later on due to scaling. So
Yeah, and also just a big. Now I have a question. You have an experience egg. Who do you put it on? Double. Oh, okay. As we have a toilet Atma on the screen.
This is regular Atma.
Oh, sorry,
Toilet
regular
Atma is
Atma. This is
purple.
regular Atma. That's right. So I got a question. If you have an experience egg, who do you put it on? The Shocker or the double fixed dice? Because fixed dice does scale better with higher levels.
Yeah, you go with the
So-
fixed dice user, because fixed dice's damage model is based off of your roll plus your level. So,
Right.
and that's a 2-shot basically of one of the harder bosses in the vanilla game, with the sweet music. Double gamblin' shockin' picks up the first boss of the seed here, and we will find out what the reward is. Since it was an imp sprite, it's not a character here, so let's see. It is another piece of Magitek, so that's number 2
Nice.
for doesn't.
Somebody in chat noted that there is an Atma available, and Celeste is a natural Atma weapon user. But with Shock, I don't know about really having to make that a priority, because Shock's already going to do a lot of damage, especially if you have a Hero Ring, or you can find an E-Ring to go along with it, because Hero Ring does the same amount of magic boosting as an E-Ring does. So, I mean, you're really focused on just boosting the Shock for the AoE damage, really.
Yeah, Atma weapon is more of a long-term play,
late
as
game,
Saberwolf
yeah.
mentioned. You need to be in the 30s of levels in order for it to be somewhat effective. However, it's never too early to start planning for your end game builds. As we get Zone Seek with Cure 3, that's halfway decent. We have some Cure magic in this seed, so we won't be hurting later on. Interesting choice to take a tent outside of a Narsh where you just walk past the healing pool, but that's okay.
Yeah. We just want to go camping, okay? We just want to go camping.
Who wants s'mores? S'more or what? Anyway.
S'more. Oh, I'll go for some s'mores right about now.
Looks like Ficta's taking some grind encounters here, and looks like he's going to be doing the Pogo Setzer with the fixed dice. Doesn't is going to run into his spicy chicken, so we're having seconds on our wings here, people.
Yep, the mascot from one of our pods rears its ugly head right now.
I don't know. Oh, there is an antidote. Thank goodness. Otherwise, Ficta would be in trouble with triggering Kefka at Narsh and no way to heal the poison off.
Yeah.
So this will probably take a little bit, even with Shock and double fixed dice Genji glove.
Oh.
Oof. Launcher is not a fun ability. Every time that rocket hits your character, your HP gets halved. And Celeste took basically all of them to the face.
Now, Disney has boosted this level up quite a bit with all these extra dead checks, where Ficta has not. So this fight's going to be a heck of a lot harder than what Ficta has to deal with.
Yeah, sets are getting toasted. Speaking of
spicy,
of camping,
he needs some blue cheese right about now to go with his campfire here.
Atma weapon going down for Ficta, and that'll be Magicite number 2, tying both of these runners up in terms of goals. Oh wow!
Oh wow!
That hurts. Yeah, Poltergeist don't play.
No, he came here to.
The Thunder Shield will nullify that Wind Slash, but it won't do anything against the fire magic that's going to be coming out soon. And that's Celeste down
there
again.
It is. On cue. Oh.
Oh, maybe he's got an ice shield? Yes, I did see.
Shield.
Yes, that's right. I did see an ice shield pickup as well. So elemental
Would you break
shields
it right now?
If I've taught my characters the tier 2 spells, I would consider it. This is gonna hurt though.
Oh god, Quasar! It's like the second strongest spell from lore. Yeah, that's gonna do it for that.
Yeah, Quasar is a non-elemental, all-encompassing AoE attack, and that's unfortunate for doesn't. You can learn it off of lore, and our characters do start with lores if we ever find a user with lore. Now, remember, it doesn't have to be Strago, because all of the abilities are randomized. So, we've got Doomgaze 2, our runner 0 so far.
Or a spicy chicken 2.
Oh, he's tee it up again, coach. Tee it up again. I want another crack at it.
I could do it. Put me back in.
Just place your bets in the chat. Speaking of gambling, will we get it the second time around here? So, other places that we can go with this set of characters, we've done Mog's 1 check, and this is it's technically not one of Setzer's check because you could accidentally run into the Doomgaze spot, but you could do Search the Skies with Setzer. You can also do the Opera House with Celeste, the Magitek Factory with Celeste, or the Daryl's Tomb with Setzer. And it looks like Ficta is going to be testing out his pipes at the Opera House here.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we're not going to see the actual opera. Unfortunately.
No, well,
Worlds 7.5 minute Joker lap.
Yeah, Worlds Collide basically takes all of the nonsense and cutscenes and all that stuff out to try and just go as fast as possible. You do have to talk to the impresario first so that he can start up the band. Then you have to talk to the janitor to pull on the lever, and it's a whole process. So. Yep.
And there's no timer for this either. Timer's turned off.
Oh, we got a little limit break on Setzer.
Oh,
there it is.
That's how you want to do it.
There it is. All right, so Doesn't takes down the spicy chicken on round 2 of his go-round. I said round way too many times in that sentence. Yeah, anyway, the reward is... That's a great song by Rat, but anyway, another Esper. Carbuncle. Yeah, Carbuncle will cast Reflect on your party, which is useful in basically the Magimaster fight, and if you really don't have any defenses for stuff, but it's not really all that great. I don't know what it's got on it yet, and in the Opera House, we're just going to hack and slash some rats like Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, so that gets us a little bit more levels. It's a little bit maybe slower than maybe some other ones you get, but it does give you some levels, so...
More Atma weapons at World of Ruin, Colin Jim.
Oh, goodness gracious. Good roll in this, by the way.
I guess so. Although, I mean, both of our runners got dealt some spicy chicken wings, so who knows. Yeah, in this particular flag set, getting levels early and getting levels by fixed encounters specifically is more valuable than getting levels by dragons. And the reason why is because when you defeat a dragon, it technically counts as a check. So it will increase the scaling. So even though you go up by 5 levels yourself, you've just set all of the other enemies up another 2.5 levels.
Yep, so definitely doing dragons will definitely do that. I mean, if you don't have a choice and you're doing, like, say, an Edgar or a Cyan in your party, and that's all you have for checks, yeah, maybe you'll swing the dragon on the way by just to get the dragon out of the way and get those levels while you're there. But yeah, since none of our characters have a dragon check in their stack, so don't have to deal with those yet.
Yeah, the World of Ruin Opera House and the Snowy Fields of Nourish and the Fanatics Tower are all open to everybody, but I don't anticipate them going there just yet. And after some bad acting, we've got Dataluma, the boss from the Zozo fight, making his way a little bit further south in the world map to head into the Opera House.
Yeah. Oh, okay, well, he did until he got one-shotted.
Ice 2 and Stop. Well, Stop would have been useful. You know, when the Esper from Poltergeist teaches the spell that nullifies Poltergeist, feels bad, man.
Oh,
It's a
we got
master.
Grandmaster Pug there on Destiny screen.
Yep, so this is a runaway. Most monster in a boxes actually don't reward XP. And it's an imp on Ficta's screen, so this is not a character for him either.
Take my girl back. No.
And Seraphim.
Seraphim is sleeping again? It's like every single speed.
Yeah, so Seraphim's in Daryl's tomb. So that means that Magitek Factory, number 3, the minecart ride madness, is where our first character is.
Hated. You're right. Yeah, that's the last one.
And on Dozen's screen, we got Fun Baba, who has skipped leg day every single day of the year. Ooh, that's a 5-6-6 roll. You see the huge damage coming out on the fixed dice. That's one of the reasons why some people love the fixed dice, is you can get lucky with rolls like that. But if you get the 1-1-2, that's not the way to go.
Okay, that is... we're gamblers. Okay, people who want to gamble will do the fixed dice. It might be a little slower, especially if you try to use with an offering like that, as we see Destiny get their 4th Esper of the game. I mean, yes, it's a little bit slower, but the potential of doing like 5, 6, 7, 8,000 damage on a roll is just amazing. So,
yeah.
Better off like when Ficta has with the jump right now.
Yeah, so
and
jumping...
then later on when he gets the dragon horn from South Figaro World of Balance, that'll be even more effective.
Yeah, he found it. It's so Ficta is online with Pogo, Setzer with fixed dice. Fixed dice jumping actually gives you the plus 1.5 times damage that you would when jumping with other items. Plus, it's fixed dice, and you don't get the dice rolling animation. So that's why jumping with fixed dice is favored more over throwing fixed dice. But if you've got a Genji glove and you're giving yourself an additional chance for a good roll, it kind of supplements the fact that it's very RNG dependent. And just like we were at the very beginning of the race, 23 minutes later, we are synced again for the first Magitek Factory.
Yeah, but Destiny does have the leg up from getting through the Poltergeist on the second go-around. So, and also now we have a second set of Dragoon boots, which could be for Mog. Mog is a natural spear user, so that would be beneficial since spears do more damage than other weapons do. And that is a junior, not the Magic Mouse, that is junior. I'm sorry.
You said doo-doo. So yes, it is. It's fine. So this is number 24, French Vanilla number 24, right? Because don't you fight him at the top of the stairs in the next chapter?
Yep. Yeah, this is French Vanilla.
And he's gone already. See you later, number 24.
Bye.
The only real worry is if he inflicts overflow on your fixed dice user, because then that will confuse your fixed dice user, and that usually means a reset. But Ficta just steamrolls there, and now I think you're seeing the extra levels from the Opera House really show how much faster Ficta is going than doesn't.
And that's an Esper Ramu for Ficta there.
Yeah, so interesting thing about the Magitek Factory, the first 2 checks, the dumpster dive for Ifrit and Shiva, and the Vanilla number 24 fight, can only reward Espers or items. Yep. And the third one is either character or Esper. And we know, since we have the omnipotent power of seeing all of the checks so far, that is the only way to get your next character. And our level check over on Ficta's screen with Doom Gaze.
Life 3, sorry.
Yeah, so level 5 Doom is okay. Doom Gaze is annoying, but not as annoying in Worlds Collide, because we don't have that runaway mechanic that he does in the vanilla game. Weak to Fire and Pearl, although I don't know if we have either of those.
So Destiny is still going with the Genji Glove dual fixed dice. Mog is equipped the Dragon Horn and the Dragon Boots with the Spear, so he's going to go full Dragoon mode on Mog, while Celeste does have the Earring boosting for her. He does not have a level 5 for there, so this Doom will be no problem.
All right. Doom Gaze 0 for 6 in taking our party out with nothing we could do about it. So
Celeste does have the experience egg, by the way. She's she's about 5 or 6 levels ahead of the rest of the party. doesn't he?
Yep, that makes sense. Like I said, Shock is not as viable towards the end of the game, and as I think Zelfer mentioned already in the chat, we have Atma weapons for sale, and those also do damage based on your level. Sets are coming down with a 4,500 dice roll there, and that's the power of the jumping fixed dice.
Ooh, good dodge. Wow, 7,500 damage on that first roll. Yeah, that'll do it.
There it is, and a French vanilla reward of Shiva for getting through Doomgaze, and we're neck and neck, folks. He does have the extra Magicite that he got from passing Spicy Chicken. Otherwise, we're all evened up because Ficta went to the Opera House and got a piece of Magicite, while Doesn't went to Daryl's tomb and got a different piece of Magicite. So, Magitek 3, everybody ready for the Mode 7 graphics? I know I am.
Oh, this was like the best part of the game back in the day.
Yeah,
Other games didn't have this.
Well, I don't know what it looks like in Pixel Remaster, but I'm hoping it looks better than it does in Worlds Collide.
Shout out to Green Monkey saying that Sid and Celeste matching outfits, which you don't see in Vanilla because they are not together for that little part there.
Yeah, well, Sid looks more like a banana in Vanilla, and Celeste looks like a general and not an opera floozy. Here is some Ralphs, which I like to joke is what the sound a dog makes. Ralph, 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 Ralph. And that's why they're called Ralphs, but I know that that's not true. I was told by Kilbasiago that their translation actually is Don and not Ralph. So I don't know who screwed that up.
I believe there were Dons, though, too, in the 3 version, weren't they? I remember being Dons. I don't know.
I will have to go look that up afterwards.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That is the 6th version. When they redid it as Final Fantasy VI, they changed it to Dons. My bad. So it was originally Ralph in 3, but they changed it to Don in 6, I believe.
Which is weird, because most of the changes of the rename happened because of the character limitations of the Super Nintendo, right? Because there's Tritok, and then all of a sudden it's Valley Garmanda, and it's like, whoa, that's a mouthful.
Oh yeah, and don't even get started on the Pixel Remaster, which completely changed some of the names of them to be more uniform across all their series, like Quetzalcoatl instead of Palador, I believe.
All right, and the boss in sync, tunnel armor.
Okay. That's kind of a makes sense check here, our boss here.
And yeah, so they're doing about the same damage with Shock too. So.
Oh God.
And there's the crack pow. Both tunnel armors are down on both screens. This is awesome. 29 minutes in, and they're basically at the same spot.
Now, we will note something that throughout the series, throughout all the early stages, doesn't he always finish in front of Ficta by 10 to even 20 minutes? So Ficta is putting up one hell of a fight right now.
Yep. We do have.
So who do you think this character's going to be?
Ooh, predictions in chat. I'm going to go
predictions right now.
It's Grandpa time. Let's see it.
Grandpa time? Okay, Grandpa time, yep. Nope, Shadow! Good.
It's the world's best dad.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's Chatternook. So another change from Vanilla for Chatternook is that they stay in the demon form more often. Because you can, fun fact, only kill Chatternook in the demon form and not the lady form here. All right, so progression for Shadow has to be at either the cave on the Veldt, which we could peek, or the floating continent. If I was one of these runners, I'd just turn around and go right to the floating continent.
Cast Runic. Use Runic. Use Runic Setzer.
Yeah, so let's see what's in Shadow's Rage. Oof! Let's see what's in Shadow's Rage list. So our runners do come packed with some rages to start, and unlike in the vanilla game, we don't have to go to the Veldt and use the leap command. Every enemy that we beat, we automatically learn their rage. So
automatically?
Automatically. It's a new word. Look it up.
Yeah, okay.
I saw shrapnel come out, so the Gylomantis, one of those praying mantis looking guys that we fought on the minecart, actually cast shrapnel, which is in a non-elemental, very high power spell. So that's what Ficta is using for his rage. Meanwhile, Chatternook is done on Doesn't side, so Doesn't taking the lead here just a smidge.
Yeah, fixed dice for 9,000 damage even.
I'm getting a pronunciation guide in the chat. Helomantis. I like Gilo. I like Gilo. Sounds like Jello.
That was Helomantis. Or Gilomantis. Gilome?
And it's a behemoth suit.
Okay, could be useful. It's pretty good armor.
It is Realm and Strago's vanilla best armor. So it's good for your magic user if one of our teammates can wear it here.
Too bad it doesn't make you a behemoth like the Moogle suit does. Imagine putting on a behemoth suit and turn it into a behemoth.
Yeah.
Or even better, put the squirrel suit on and turn into a squirrel like Mario.
Yeah, I would be triggered at those fingernails. Have you seen what Behemoth's fingernails look like? He needs to carry some nail clippers with him. Or some garden shears, actually, is probably more like it.
So we got a floating island series here. Now this is a series of beginning force fights into back-to-back boss fight into your first character Esper item, and then you get another one halfway through with another boss fight, and at the end you get a couple more force fights into another semi-boss fight at the end before you jump off and see if you get another character Esper. So it's three. That's a combo of three, kind of like what we had in the Magitek Factory. As we can see some really tough, I guess you could say pseudo dragons between Allosaurus and Sombones here.
Yeah, apparently the word for dragon in Japanese is close to dinosaur, or vice versa. So sometimes they're dinosaurs, sometimes they're dragons. They're always confusing, though.
No, they're terrible lizards either way.
I think Doesn't has 6 pieces of Magicite. I'm not positive on
I think he has a 1-step lead still.
Yeah, so let's count. We had the 2 in Magitek Factory, the Search the Skies, the 2 at Lone Wolf and Kefka at Nourish, and then Daryl's Tomb. So yeah, that's 6. I can count. I swear I can math.
Hey, you need to take off your shoes.
Yeah, so Doesn't will have a lot of extra levels for his bosses here. And speaking of behemoths, see what I mean? Look at those nails. Somebody get him a mani-pedi.
Somebody give him a manicure.
Looking over the rage list, he scrolled through it so quickly I didn't get to see what else was on there, but we do have access to shrapnel, which is a good one, and there's some big dice rolls and then little dice rolls. So that's the nature of the beast with fixed dice. Yeah, I mean, I'd argue and say that the fixed dice pickup was definitely worth it out of the dead checks. Maybe not so much the behemoth suit. I don't remember what the other dead check was. Was it Dragon Horn? I don't remember.
The other dead check. Let's see. It was fixed dice with 1. The behemoth suit.
Oh, the snow muffler. That's what it was.
The snow muffler.
Okay, well, Mog can definitely wear the snow muffler, so that at least
he is
okay.
right now.
So
we got another behemoth suit.
Yeah. Tyrannosaur we have, that's Meteo. And Air Force.
French vanilla.
Oh god, Air Force is my least favorite.
No, this is vanilla.
This is straight up vanilla. So Air Force is my least favorite boss in the game. He's got 3 parts to him and can use all sorts of AoE attacks as well as HP deletion attacks, right? That launcher spell that we saw earlier. So Air Force can use launcher followed by an AoE attack and basically one-shot your party. But thankfully he's a glass cannon and doesn't get past him here.
Yeah, fortunately, Destiny does not have a tracker on their stream, so can't confirm the 6 Espers, but we're pretty sure of that.
Yeah, I think it's 6. I counted them all. I counted them, and there's number 7.
Nice.
It is Raiden, which is an instant death summon.
Instant death and Odin. Yeah,
and life too. So it giveth and taketh away in this particular seed.
Well, that does channel Final Fantasy 13 Lightning. She becomes the goddess of life and death for like a brief second.
Hashmalum has given us our Japanese lesson we didn't think we needed.
Well, I believe that's Korea or Doragon, technically, not Dragon. I believe that's Doragon.
Close enough. And pugs.
For you.
So pugs are scaled down from level 99, thankfully. They do have a chance, 1/8 per pug, to drop a Minerva, which is one of the best pieces of armor in the game, but doesn't want to waste his time.
Well, Celeste would be a natural user for it, too. So that's too bad.
Yeah, but there's only a 1/8 chance of dropping it, and he decides it's not worth the time.
With Setzer on the team, those odds go up. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and Ficta is also done with his Air Force, so this is neck and neck, peeps. This is still anybody's race. Usually Worlds Collide seeds will diverge a lot because instead of important items, you just have to get to a character and Magicite requirement, but every once in a while, you get seeds like this, where there's really only one path forward, and this is sort of how life is. It is great because we get to see exactly who's in the lead, right? We know that Doesn't is in the lead right now because he's further along in this particular check. He also has one extra piece of Magicite to his name, but
yeah, so he has a pretty big lead actually right now because Ficta, in order to even it up, will have to do Poltergeist of all things.
Yeah, well,
so really, I guess we're looking for a character here. Like maybe like a Saban to really branch out like different checks to go in multiple ways here, I guess.
Well, it's not going to be here. This check only rewards us with either an Esper or an item, and it's another French vanilla floating continent boss, Narapa.
Yeah, Narapa's usually at the end of the island before you have to wait for Shadow to save his life. But yeah, moved up a little bit up to where the Atma weapon spot is instead.
Yeah, Ficta's already at in the high 20s for levels. I didn't see what Doesn't levels are, but considering their HP totals are around the same, except for Celeste, who has the experience egg on. This
gotta be near 40 by now.
It's still anybody's race here. Would have been a good time to crack out that Raiden Esper summons, but Narapa's a pushover anyway.
Yeah, very small HP pool. Manduin, that's Terra's dad. Again, more spoilers, sorry.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah, Manduin is a decent summon, only because it's non-elemental damage, but the magic power isn't that great.
Yeah.
So there are 2 fixed encounters here before we get to the boss at the end of the floating continent. If this is your first time with us, welcome. Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. It's an open world randomizer for Final Fantasy VI, where the bosses, the battles, the character's abilities, everything, more or less, except for the weapon and magic stats, are randomized. ff6wc.com is our website if you want to get started, if you're enjoying what you're seeing.
And also,
any questions? Yeah, if you got any questions, just drop it in the chat and we'll try to answer them, or somebody who's smarter than one of the two of us will answer them.
Yep, there is a help channel, which is the Google's first channel. There's always somebody got their eyes there in the chat area, so just ask your questions, and you'll probably get an answer within the hour.
Yeah, so in Worlds Collide, we took out a lot of the cutscenes, so yeah, basically when you run up to Kefka with the Warring Triad, you just get yeeted off the top there, and the last part of the floating continent starts.
Oh, I'm glad you have to use that word, bro.
I'm trying to connect with the youths.
Yeah.
Is this Narapa again?
You're connected already with Pixel Remaster already.
Oh, I'm silly. I'm watching Ficta's screen, not Doesn't screen. I was like, wait a minute, is Narapa the boss twice?
Oh, we get Ultros Numero Uno for the end of Island. I guess that's a good relief after all the other bosses we've seen already. And that'll definitely be a dead octopus after those 2 rolls.
Yep. That is Ultros 1, you could tell, because there's no tentacles on the sprite. And hey, it's
close.
Edgar.
Edgar. Again, not the greatest checks, because one of his checks is also a free check. I might want to check that first. Oh, that's our slots, so we're kind of like up for grabs here. Okay, Shadow's, I guess, out of the party. But again, Edgar's, one of his checks is a free check, so we know that one of those checks are already dead, unfortunately. And then the rest of them take quite a long time, because you have to go all the way through Self-Figaro Castle Basement, and then you have to go through all the way through Ancient Castle, so it could be gated again. Another 10 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah, so, well, I guess we'll get our predictions in the chat. Who do you think our next character will be after Edgar? Let us know. I still think we're going to find Strago. I'm feeling Strago. Edgar can use Atma Weapon. Also a good choice for him. Not a character here.
Castle, yep. So we're going to be about 10 minutes to another character here.
Well, not necessarily. It could also be the Cave at the Veld. This could be just a red herring.
Oh, that's right. So, we haven't done a Shadow Shelter check, right?
Yeah, so this is in the world of Ruin. You know, this is the cutscene where it's Geralt, who fooled absolutely nobody.
And doesn't even know what he has for characters or espers right now. But if this is an esper, they'll be close down the hill and he is a character, so probably do... Now, would you continue to Ancient Castle because you're already here? Or would you go to Cave in the Veld because you're already in World of Ruin already, and would peek that to make sure if you have to do Ancient Castle or not?
Here's my thoughts on it. You are never closer to the Ancient Castle than you are right after this check, right? Because then you can't land the airship in the sand, because there's 2 things that don't like sand: Kefka's boots and the airship, right? So. So in order to get back to the Ancient Castle, you have to land the airship somewhere outside of the desert and then walk all the way over there. Speaking of Kefka, I said his name on top of the disgusting pasta.
Okay, we're gonna have to start saying the K name. So the K name doesn't like dirt on his boots.
Yep, so this is the Kefka at Narsh Kefka, meaning after you do enough damage to him, he will peace out. But yeah, that's my thoughts on you do Ancient Castle here if you're doing this check. I would have peeked Cave on the Veld before going through this, because if my character's at Cave on the Veld, I'm not doing Edgar checks at all, because like you said, this takes a while.
Oh, so you would do it before that. That's an Esper, so we got Esper number 9. That's
good.
So
one more character doesn't for go mode here. And that's character number 5 for Ficta. Let me mark that off. And let's see where Ficta decides to go.
Looks like Ficta's going to do the Shadow free check. Oh, nope. It's going to Self-Figaro World of Balance.
Yeah, maybe he...
More Dragoon gear? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he wants... Yeah, maybe he wants something. So...
I'm a weapon.
Ah, yes. Edgar's Throne will be a dead check. It is a Pearl Lance. Now remember, Doesn't has taken a lot more checks than Ficta does. So even though right now it looks like Doesn't has 2 more espers, all of his bosses are going to be much harder than Ficta's. So that will eat away at his time unless he gets much more levels and starts outscaling things. So this'll, we'll see what happens.
With the dragons scaling it as well, we can't really just catch up with levels with dragons either, can we?
Correct. So every time you take a dragon counts as a check. That's another 2.5 levels that you add to the enemies and the bosses. So that's why I said when Ficta went to the Opera House to do fixed encounters, grinding on enemies in this flag set is more powerful than using dragons. Although dragons will get you, depending upon where you are, more than the 2.5 levels that you use to scale up. So there is... I'm sorry. Go ahead. No,
I was going to say, Ficta just bought 3 Atma weapons with a Genji Glove double up on Edgar, and I believe Setzer has the other Atma weapon, so I guess abandoning the fixed dice? That doesn't seem right.
Unless Mog can
Mog cannot. He
Oh,
doesn't Mog on the team.
Mog isn't even in the team anymore. Yeah, so Genji Glove Atma weapon is an interesting play because the Atma weapons will do more damage when your character has more health. So without a shield, it's harder to keep that character at a higher HP total. And it's Realm. That's our go mode for doesn't.
Yeah, it is.
At 45 minutes and 55 seconds.
Ever have lore? X Magic Natural?
Mmm.
Ooh. There is an economizer. Don't know if they sold it, though.
Yeah, he's having trouble trying to get at this dragon here, and it is an ice dragon. I know there was fire, too. I saw it on somebody's menu, so this shouldn't be too bad. Unless he gets frozen, and 0 out of 4. Try again. We are all thawed out, ice dragon.
Fire
Sorry.
2 there, Mogul.
Yep, Ficta taking some fights here. On his way down to the buried treasure here, or more than likely forgot to put his Google Charm on.
Yeah, trying to get those extra fights for the experience egg, raise those HP and levels up for those Atma weapons he just bought out South Figaro off.
Yep. So Ficta's doing what I would have done, which is peek Velt Cave before going to do Edgar stuff.
Luckily, by the way, luckily had Edgar, which actually discounted the prices on that too, by the way. So
yeah,
keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, if Edgar's at the front of your party in the world of Ruin, South Figaro, or either shop in the actual South Figaro, or Figaro Castle rather, you get half off. What is it called? Your favorite?
Discount double check.
There it is.
By the way, Celeste is at level 49 on doesn't he?
There you go. He's looking for an offering for those Atma weapons.
Oh, it's the Lobo.
So there are 3 weapons that offering does not reduce damage of. One of them is the fixed ice. The other is the Atma weapon, and the third, which we haven't seen in this seed, is the Valiant Knife. So an offering means that instead of 1 attack, you do 4 attacks. But your attacks are halved. However, with the penalty not applying to either Atma weapons or fixed ice or Valiant Knives, it makes it very valuable for those 3 weapons. It is a piece of Magicite at the cave in the Veld here, so our seed very, very linear. You have to go get Realm at the bottom of the Ancient Castle in order to get your go mode, and it's Hudat's favorite snail, Presenter.
Now, Ficta is making good the... Oh, jeez. Well, I was going to say, he's making good the Polterdice move to go down to the cave in the Veld, but instead of Polterdice, we got Guardian instead. That's not much of an upgrade there, as it just did 4,000 damage to Shadow's face. And that Wave Cannon's also going to put a hurting in. Oof.
Gotta love those AoE attacks. Like I said earlier, the bosses are going to get much harder now. And you're definitely seeing it on Ficta's screen. Guardian, one of the endgame bosses. Guardian don't play around very much.
Well, again, also want to remind everybody, we haven't seen Goddess, we haven't seen Magimaster, we haven't seen Doom yet. So we haven't seen Inferno yet. So we do have some pretty dangerous bosses still lurking in the world here. That could be French Vanilla or Vanilla Chicks at Kefka's Tower here. But doesn't he already in go mode here? Is going to try to do some last minute stop shopping here.
Yeah, he's going to pick up the Atma weapons that are at World of Ruin Kolingen. They were in 2 different shops in this particular seed. One of them Ficta found in South Figaro, the other ones are here. And so he's going to sell all of his stuff that he's not using and go ahead and buy some Atma weapons.
But wouldn't you rather do South Figaro, though, since you get the discount for the Edgar instead of here? That you could buy possibly more?
It depends. If it was in the world of Balance South Figaro, then it doesn't matter.
Oh.
If it was the world of Ruin South Figaro, then fine.
Oh, by the way, there's Excaliburs there too, apparently.
Excalibur's a good stat stick. I would not necessarily use it for a physical offensive build.
Yeah, true.
But yes, because it's got Pearl Element. A lot of the harder bosses will absorb Pearl. So he's got the 2 Atma weapons there. Those will go on Celeste. And it is the Crusader Esper for Ficta. That is his Esper number 8. Into Kefka's tower for dozen, 50 minutes, 30 seconds.
The rest of his party is around level 34 or 36, while Celeste is around level low 40s. Going into Kefka fight here, see how many levels does he have? So that's what, 15 plus what was it, 4 dead checks there too?
Remember, you get 3 characters to start, so you have to subtract 3, right? Because you didn't get those characters from checks. So it's 9
16.
plus 1 is the dragon, so that's 10. Minus 3, or plus 3 is 13. Plus, what did you say, 4 dead checks? You're right, 17. So 17 times 2 is 34. Plus half of 17 is 8. Yeah, so level 42. Then you add the 10 boss levels that you get at the beginning of the seed, and his bosses are level 52.
Well, it's capped at 50. So
is it?
We're at cap. Yeah, so okay. We're at the cap. We're at the full 50 cap. Where Ficta is not. So
right, because he did not take all of that. He might have. I think he kept. I don't know if he kept the fixed dice or not. I wasn't sure.
I don't know either. Oh no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Because remember, he reset after he saw that.
Yeah. So part of the problem with the bosses getting this high in scaling is that their elements go up through the roof. I played a seed earlier, a practice seed, even though I'm out of the tournament. I played a practice seed where I got ultimate twice in one by 2 different bosses. I actually got ultimate by a random enemy box set, and I got ultimate by Toilet Atma. So that was fun.
Oh yeah, like when you get a Senior Behemoth who we saw earlier. I mean, he can throw Kefka, a final Kefka magic at you.
Yeah, Hyperdrive,
Goner,
all that fun stuff.
Fallen One, yeah. Sin Pyro found out the hard way there on that one.
So while we're waiting for our runners to get their shopping and/or menuing done, if you're new around here to Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, it's an open world randomizer where everything's randomized: characters, abilities, items, weapons, all that fun stuff. Go follow our runners, Doesn't and Ficta. You can follow me and Saberwolf if you want to. And it looks like we got Opera House Ultros at Doesn't screen at the Inferno spot.
Yep.
So how we know it's Opera House Ultros is because Realm is in the 2nd position on the screen, which is all the way at the bottom of the fight chart. So if Doesn't had 2 other characters, they'd be on the left side of Ultros here. And the Ultros pincer fight is the one at the Opera House. And you could also hear that the music continued on. If it was Ultros 4, you'd get the boss theme. Know your Ultros, friends.
And by the way, for this race, it's kind of winner take all. Move on to the next stage because the winner will join the other 3 racers we've had earlier this week. That's Fantastodon, Hashmallow, and Kobasiago. So the winner of this will join them in for the 7-way quarterfinal that will be next week. So stay tuned for that and join our Discord to keep up the information on those races as well. And we got 3 more going tomorrow, so pretty busy here for Worlds Collide right now.
Yeah. Ficta is looking for some Phoenix Downs because I think he used his very last one in that Guardian fight. So that's what he's on a shopping spree, and he cannot seem to find them anywhere. I know that we had a Life 2 spell at some point on one of these Espers. They would kind of stink if it was on the Esper behind Poltergeist. And nope. Still no Phoenix Downs.
But you didn't buy any rename cards. Come on. Gotta have the rename cards.
Well, if you're memeing, you buy the rename cards.
Well, that was you yesterday.
Cost me the race, darn it. Never mind the shenanigans that happened. So Ficta says, forget it, I'm just going to go. And which is, when you're in a race, you always think you're behind unless you pull off something spectacular. So that's what I feel. He's like, he probably feels behind. He's like, let's just go.
Yeah, and these races are becoming faster and faster and faster throughout this week as our Guardian check reveals our French vanilla
Ooh.
goddess, which unfortunately I kind of jinxed on here.
Yikes. So
Probably
Goddess,
one of the hardest bosses of the game.
yeah, Goddess is tough. She has very high magic defense, absorbs Pearl and Lightning. Also has very high, has rather not so high physical defense. However, when you physically attack, she will cast Love Token and makes you absorb the damage of your physical attack for her. Luckily, we have our jumping Mog, and jump doesn't proc Love Token, so depending upon how nasty Goddess wants to get here, this shouldn't be too bad, because he's dishing out a lot of damage. We'll see if he has this elemental protection.
Ooh, nice block there.
If you find yourself in this situation and you can't get past Goddess, what you should do is move your second party member out of the second slot and into the third slot, so that this way you get a true pincer attack against Goddess, and Goddess can only attack one side of the screen at the time, except for Overcast. She will use Overcast on everybody. So that's one way to kind of go through it, and here comes Landslide. This is going to hurt!
Oh, that's going to hurt a lot.
Woo!
Unfortunately, we had a proc jump there, so he's going to be airborne. So let's hope this next attack out of Goddess doesn't kill
let's get a
poor
4
Mogul here.
Oh, that's only 2.
Oh,
And there
got
it
her!
is. There it is. Nicely done. 161 HP in a dream. Meanwhile,
Hex-Wolf
Ficta
Saber Hex. What?
has erased Kefka at Narsh's Kefka. Oop, I clicked on the wrong thing there. That's Magicite number 9 for Ficta, and he'll get his go mode once he gets down to the Ancient Castle to pick up Realm.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the it's
does
gated all the way at
Quasar
the end of
hit?
Edgar.
You might be right, Lofty. Quasar will also hit both sides of the screen at the same time. So there are a couple of attacks that Goddess will do that will attack everybody on screen. But ooh, another difficult boss.
Okay, the Wolfie Hex is on. Wolfie Hex is on.
Hey, I was the one that rolled the seed. You don't get to get credit for this.
Yeah, but I'm the one that said it. I got a commentator curse over here.
So Inferno is another endgame boss, another tower boss, weak to lightning and water like most mechanical things are, and has very punishing physical attacks. So even though Mog is like dodgeball, he's dodging everything. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball.
Hash, that'd be Saber Warlock, not Witch. Okay, I'm just saying.
There it is. Oof. Yeah. Inferno's physical attacks hurt a lot. And if you have all 3 of the parts on the screen, he can do Delta Hit, which will petrify your character, essentially making them dead. Thankfully, Mog was in the air when it happened the first time. Shrapnel's also more fun than we had.
Wow. Avoided all the attacks there.
Yeah, so that's one of the great things about having a jumper is that you can't get hurt if you can't get hit, right? So,
but the problem here is we have 3 targets. You have to kill the center portion of the Inferno, I guess, bot here, not the arms. So the one bad part about this is the first attack will hit the middle, but then we just have to hope we got a 1 in 3 chance of the rest of them hitting. Oh,
yeah.
A quad jump there. That was nice.
Yeah, he's going all over the place, though. And he does
we took out
knock
the arms,
down
so
both
that
of the
helps.
arms.
Ooh, but Tech Berry is going to raise the defense levels here, a little bit of Inferno.
Yep, Tech Barrier will also cast Reflect. Not that we were using magic spells, but if we were, now would not be the time. Ficta taking out a dragon there to get some levels, and that's it. Inferno Crack Pow done. So it doesn't taking down 2 of our difficult bosses here in the tower. And Ficta is in go mode, 59-ish minutes or so. He is about 10 minutes behind. He's about 10 minutes behind, doesn't he? I'm sorry, what did you say?
He's looking for the offering too, but unfortunately gets that Lobo chest like doesn't he did. Which means that the mystery offering chest would have been where?
So there is a monster in a box in the cave in the Veldt, which Ficta did go and take a look at. It wasn't obviously the offering.
No.
So the other monster in a boxes are at Umaro's cave, which is one that a lot of people forget about. That is actually open to anybody because all you have to do is beat Tritok and then you could jump down in there. And the others are locked off by Sabin. There's Imperial Camp that has one. The Collapsing House has two, and a Phantom Train has one, and we got 2 snails on the screen at the same time.
Escargot. And Ficta escargoed out of that fight.
The Escar went. Oof, Setzer with the big damage there. Quad 9s on that 5-6-6 roll there, and Welk is down before he gets into the Gru hole. So that leaves one more boss for Dozen in his boss gauntlet here on the right-hand side. We need your predictions in the chat. Who do we think we're going to see on the goddess statue?
Oh, it's going to be something like Leader or Razopraz.
Oh, the bathroom break boss.
Yeah.
So it looks like Dozen is taking off the Genji glove for the fixed dice. Maybe he's not confident in Setzer's defense.
Okay, chat. Calm down. They're spamming Magimaster in chat. Calm down. Okay?
I mean, there are a few bosses that would be quite annoying right now. That happens to be one of them.
Oh, so there is our double Atma Celeste now. Level 53 Genji Glove double Atma Celeste now.
Yeah, she's going to... you see the HP total? 5,100. So the only way you can get over Quad 9 damage cap... Toilet Atma, another difficult boss.
Wow, okay.
So not a Magimaster, but... These are some fun tower bosses. Yeah, look at that. 7,000 damage a swing. Very nice. The lightsabers are coming out to play here.
1,000 damage.
Yeah, so Atma at this scaling can cast very, very powerful spells. And it looks like Ficta is going to take the Opera House Dragon, which we haven't seen yet. So some new information over here on his screen.
By the way, Atma weapon does also pertain to your health going down. So the lower your health is, the less damage you're outputting as well. Versus VK goes the opposite direction, where the lower your health is, the more damage you do.
Yeah, so that's why Edgar healed Celeste before swinging another 7,000 apiece. Yeah, the only way to get over the 9,999 damage cap in this game is to either use Genji gloves or offerings or quick or Dragoon boots. So that's why runners tend to favor those kind of strategies, because at some point you're going to hit a damage cap with a boss weakness or something like that. And it's always good to get more. Over 9,000? Yes, over 9,000.
The only other one I can think of that you could do that would be Stage 7 Sword Tech with a very high level Cyan, as that is the switches at 103.37. Woo!
Yep.
That was a 13-minute Kefka tower, by the way.
Very nice. Blue Dragon at the Opera House, weak to lightning, because you don't want to jump into a bath with a toaster.
Really? You don't say.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Everybody should learn that with Groundhog Day, okay?
Yeah, not a good idea.
Oh, dear.
Rippler coming out. Rippler can actually... there's like this weird bug where you could actually Rippler Interceptor off of Shadow. I've never seen it done before, but I've only read about it. It's a little crazy, because technically Interceptor is a status effect. Or how it's coded in the game. Anyway.
It's an ongoing status effect on Shadow? Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. So...
The more you know.
Yep. Oh, Valiant. Speaking of Valiant Knife, we have the trifecta here. We have Valiant Knife, and we have Fixed Dice, and we have Atma Weapon. Let's talk about... Yeah, let's talk about Tier 1 here, as Doesn't is employing some Vanish strats. So Tier 1 is purely physical attacks, except for the spell Dread, which will petrify your character, or Reverse Polarity, which will change the row that your characters are in. So that's why Vanish is very effective on this tier. That long arm is susceptible to instant death or being petrified. I don't think we have either, other than the Raiden ability.
Yeah.
The head
but
is.
We're going to save for tier 2 though, because
right.
Machine's harder to get to. So.
Yeah. So the head is weak to fire, and if left last, will cast Quake on death. So we want to kill that, not last. So that's why Doesn't took it out first and is taking out this other arm. Because it will death counter with 3 shockwaves, which is also something that can hit Vanish characters. As Ficta gets into the tower, 105.45.
105.45. So unfortunately, we are 15 minutes behind, doesn't he? And unfortunately, that does track with throughout this whole entire series. Unfortunately.
Yep. So remember when I said it's never too early to start preparing for endgames? So Doesn't putting the experience egg on Celeste the whole game has prepared us all for this. The 15,000 damage a turn.
Third level thinking. What would you put it on? The Atma? Well, Atma weapon does one of the late game, so we not so much for shock. We do it for fixed. No, he went third level. He was like, I'm not just going to do it for shock. I'm also going to do it for Atma weapon late game because she can do both.
Yeah, so throughout this game, you're always thinking about what your build is going to be for Final Kefka. As we get to Tier 2, 4 different parts. The tiger down there, which Mog just landed on, is weak to ice, and will do all sorts of nasty things to your party, like turn characters into zombies, freeze them, cast some very nasty spells. Speaking of spells, we've got Magitek is the one in the back on the left there, with the arm hung out. We'll obviously cast magic spells, but if we have Mute or Siren, will hilariously be susceptible to getting silenced, which means it's ineffective. Here comes Raiden. Tools was susceptible to instant death, and there it went. Is also weak to lightning if you don't have that. And the blue guy in the front hit does just physical damage and will death counter with 10 hits. So the order of operation should be Tiger, then Hit, and Magic. Skull Dragon on Ficta's screen is dead already.
Yep, he took a dragon fight in Kefka's tower. Interesting enough, tried to get some more levels in. Question in chat, what is the fastest time has been in this series? Actually, that was done by Duzity in week 2 by 113.26. Those were on slightly different flag set. Generally, these flags are pretty much the same. But that was on a slightly lower scale cap. So Duzity actually has the fastest time so far in the series.
FYI, our offering was in Kefka's tower the whole time on the Skull Dragon, so there we go. Won't save Ficta 15 minutes, but will certainly help him catch this gap here. A little runic strat coming out from Setzer. What am I watching here?
I don't know. That was kind of cool though.
Yeah, so runic
and that's a dead magic already.
Yeah, runic will absorb the spell that gets casted as MP. Unless you're wearing a weakness of it. So I found that out the other day. If you're wearing a Thunder Shield, somebody casts Bolt 2 and you runic it, it actually takes away your magic power. Yeah, very strange. So
man, we are learning a lot today.
Yeah, so since Hit is the only one left, Vanish will work in protecting your party. And
wow!
So far, he's doing a lot of missing.
Out of the barn. Oh, there he goes.
Yep. So another thing about Vanish on with just Hit left is everything goes a lot faster. Remember, this is a speed run after all, so misses take a lot less time than animations and numbers flying up. Tier 3, 2 parts. The lady in the back absorbs every single element in the game. Will heal and revive sleep down there and has 9,999 HP. Sleep has 40,000 HP. Will cast some nasty spells like Whirlwind and and others. And when he gets below 10,000 HP, will basically use every turn to, hey, there's an Atma weapon steal in case you didn't have enough this seed.
Yeah.
I think he just did that for the swag. Or is he going to equip it now?
Well, Setzer can use it technically, but he already has a fixed dice, so why would you do that?
Yeah, so I think Doesn't is counting.
Use it.
Yeah, so without calmness protection, Doesn't is counting damage and making sure that he doesn't go into the Meteo phase.
Oh no!
Hey, that's what happened to me yesterday.
Yeah, now we just need to follow up with Meteo as Now we're doing some delay strats now. We got plenty of elixirs for Celeste.
Yep.
We don't have calmness protection, as you were just about to say. We do have some life 3s, so maybe plus some life 3s, but that's going to be a dead Edgar and a dead Setzer here.
Unless they dodge.
Nope. Oh, he dodged. So just a double Meteo.
Not dodging like Mog, yeah.
Oh, no. And Fictus goes to get into his goddess fight here now. But I think he has all of his Atma users right now. Or Edgar's double Atma versus Celeste with Shock here.
Yeah, so this is part of the dance with Tier 2, is making sure you get just enough HP to kill it, but not too low so that you get in this perpetual Meteo every time. You can heal the boss to bring him above 10,000 HP to get him out of this perpetual cycle, but I think Doesn't is just going to go for it here and hope to block Calmness.
Yeah, Calmness, you do not want it to hit Celeste. That is the number one person you don't want to hit. You want to cast Life 3 on her and hope to God she doesn't get double Calmness.
Yeah, oh, he's got Phantom, so he was counting his damage. He's going to use Phantom here to avoid Calmness, which is actually a physical attack, so that's why Phantom works. And is going to go a double smack with Celeste, that's more than 10,000 HP, and here comes Calmness. And that is how you use Phantom on Tier 3, ladies and gentlemen.
And although the effect didn't fully go on the whole party, the party still had the effect of it before you actually saw it visually.
Yep. Inferno's down already on Fictus' screen. Wow, that was fast. So Fictus catching up.
Yeah, Fictus catching up really quick here. He's only been in the tower for 6 minutes, and he's already at the second statue already.
Wow, jeez. I guess those extra dragons really did help a little bit. So instead of taking dead checks, Ficta took more dragons to help up scaling. Dead dragons instead, right? So here's Final Kefka. This is also a bit of a dance where Kefka will cast Fallen One on your party unless you get him below 30,000 HP of his starting 60,000 on the first turn. And what he'll do after that is he'll charge up for a attack called Goner.
We're gonna blow that out of the water.
Yeah, so we might. Here comes the Fallen One, which thankfully we got a Mega Elixir in a chest way back in the beginning of the game for it. There
he
it
was
is.
Literally 1,200 HP short of that.
So now he has a chance to charge up for Goner, which is Kefka's quote unquote strongest attack. It's not, but it takes a turn to charge up for whatever reason, And here's the charge up for Goner. During this phase, he will not counterattack. However, during other phases, he has the potential to counterattack with nasty things like Hyperdrive and Havoc Wing, and if he's below 10,000 HP with Ultima. So here comes some quick strats. So we're going to see Celeste doing some big damage here.
Oh god, Celeste is going to go to town now. That was 15,000. Oh, that's Kapow.
And there it is. Doesn't. 113.23. GG's to Doesn't. Awesome job. Very wow. Such skill. Much wow.
Yeah, and that, I believe... What was it? 113.23?
113.22.
He beat it by 3 seconds. He beat his best time in the series by 3 seconds. 32. Oh, so he missed it by 6. Missed it by 6 seconds.
Yeah, so technically 113.22. We'll see if we can get Doesn't in here for an interview. Actually, I'll ask him if he wants to be in for an interview, and then we'll have our people call his people and figure it out.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Ficta is fighting the snail, but with the offering can't target just the head, and the shell gets smacked 4 times in a row. You hate to see it happen.
Oh, he's gonna go into the shell too. On top of that, rough.
All right, so Doesn't is able to do an interview, so we'll have our people call his people, and.
Well, while we're waiting to come in, we have Ficta going on. Don't forget, we got more action later this week. We still got 3 more pod races to go through this Worlds Collide. So join our Discord to follow along with the times of those races. As we have 4 of our finalists in now. Dozeny joins Hashmalum, Cabasiago, and Fantastodon. Those are 4 of our racers are going on to the 7-way quarterfinal here.
All right, never mind. I have the link. Yes, there it is. Sorry.
Do you have the sausage links?
Or
patties? I'm just asking.
No idea.
Sorry, this was Ficta's second. That was his second statue right there. We have a dozen on the chat. Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Awesome job, Doesn't. Way to completely smoke this seed. Want to talk to us
best
about
record of the series too.
Want to talk to us about your strategy going into this week with a different set of options than the past 2 weeks?
Well, I did a practice run of this flag set, but it was really nothing like this run because this seed kind of gave everything. Well, not everything, but enough to do a really diesel run and really nice bosses. Just
Yeah,
the egg.
you're welcome.
You can use apple weapons, which I know the location of. Early Genji, early pair of dice, and shock on a huge magic stat made early game simple and gave a late game plan just right off the bat. So it's just running
Swan
check to
aims
check.
to please, okay? Swan just aims to please you, okay?
Yeah, so the seed was a little linear though, as both the Opera House and the Cave on the Veldt, which were 2 checks that you did not do, that Ficta did, resulted in Magicite. So there was really only one path through this particular seed, and you seem to find it rather fast. So,
Well, yeah. I don't like doing Opera House. That's pretty much my last check I will do, besides Elite.
yeah, I would have thought that I would have done Opera House before saying, you know what, I guess it's MTech 3. But in this
Well,
set
MTech
of
3 has
flags...
Inject 3 takes about as long as Opera House, but it has the advantage of you're also doing Imtech 1 and 2, which you're almost always going to do anyway because they're very efficient checks.
Yeah, if you're
And
already
more
there...
likely to get S for locked and character locked, even with the seed looking like it did.
The difference in time, though, for you, though, was having to go for round 2 of the spicy chicken in the sky there. That was the big difference there, I think.
That was a hiccup. It was mostly just because of the early launcher, and I figured there was enough variation to fight. I'll just try it again. And it worked.
Yep, that was going to be one of my questions. Was if you also got launched again on that go round, was it going to be bad? So there's some pretty mean tower bosses, but you seem to handle them very well. So when you found the experience egg and you saw you had Atma weapons, you obviously went for the late game strategy of let's beef up one character to use the Genji Glove Atma weapons, and that was Celeste. Did that instantly pop into your mind, knowing what you had when you got the egg?
She was also going to be my early carry because of shock. So 2 birds with 1 stone. And yeah, she's guaranteed Atma weapon, the other 2 aren't. I know where Atma's were. I was hoping for offering the whole time. I kept checking monster in the boxes, but never got it. I just had to use Genji.
Yeah, it wasn't in the cave in the Veldt either. Ficta did find an offering, but at the Skull Dragon, which is inside of Kefka's tower, so doubt you would have found that one.
Yeah.
So there was also some runic action from Setzer in the in the final
Runic's
fight.
good command.
And that was just because you didn't have any mute for magic, right?
Pretty much. It catches just about everything he does, except maybe Life 3.
You gotta love Life 3 from Magic, that's for sure.
I know Life 3 just has weird rules around it. It might catch it, it might not. I don't remember. It also catches Ultima, but that didn't come up.
So we'll show this seed to all the fixed dice haters in the community, I guess.
Yes, we will.
They're good.
Very, very good early on. Do you have any other comments about the race while Ficta just gets into his Kefka fight here?
I have to see how I got so ahead of Ficta, because it felt like a very straightforward seed.
Yeah, you two were neck and neck for a while, and Ficta did run out of Phoenix Downs at one point, went to a bunch of shops, couldn't find them, and just said, the heck with it, I'm going to trudge forward anyway. So I think he also went to Cave in the Veldt right after Floating Continent, while you went straight for Edgar checks, and Edgar was obviously the path forward, so that was sort of the race there. But yes, definitely a good one to watch back, neck and neck for the first half an hour, I would say.
Yeah, at least. He did get he randomed the sky check where the spicy chicken was, but he was only level 3, I think it was. So it was just automatic nope out and never went back to go get it. So that was the one Esper difference. From about 20 minutes in, you guys were kind of side by side, but you still had the Esper advantage because of that. And then when he went to Velt Cave and you went to the ancient castle, that's where it split from there. So.
All right, well, congratulations on your victory, and you are the winner of this is Guardian, right?
Yeah.
Of the Guardian pod. So congratulations and good luck on the tournament going forward. Next week is going to be a bloodbath. We've got 7 participants entering and only 4 coming out. So good luck.
That's going to be a real battle royale.
Well, I hope that.
All right.
So we got tier 2 Ficta here, casting Ice 3 on everything.
Oof.
Doesn't look like using the Raiden Esper here. Shadow does have the VK knife equipped with the offering, so that's why he's being kept at low health for the damage, while Edgar is the opposite end, want to have the highest health total with the 2 Atma weapons that they have.
Yep. And he does have Doom available, so that's why there's no Raiden. We have the Doom spell, which I don't think worked the first time, but you know what they say, if it doesn't succeed at first, try again. So
Fry again.
Yep, so we have, I think Tiger is already dead. Yeah, so we just got the other 3 standing up here.
Shadow's laying down some good damage out of this VK knife right now.
Yeah, so here you see the power of the Valiant Knife with the offering.
And the Atma weapon right behind it for 7,000 apiece there. So doing about 14,000 with the Atma versus, was it 20,000?
21.
So
yeah.
We're combining for 34,000 damage between, over that actually, between Edgar and Shadow.
Similar to Doesn't, using some Vanish tactics, because Hit is the only enemy that's left alive here, and want to keep our Shadow alive, because if Shadow or any of the characters to die, if any of the characters happen to die while the tier gets finished, they will be ejected out of the fight, and a backup character will come in, and we definitely don't want that to happen with our Valiant Knife user, dealing most of the damage. That is tier 2 done, on to tier number 3 here.
Yep, so tier number 3. By the way, the Kefka Tower was pretty much the same time there. Both of them did about 13-minute Kefka Towers. So not much difference there.
Yep, so Valiant Knife was that Opera House Dragon, and Offering was that Kefka's Tower East Dragon. So if you did
late
your
dragons, apparently
you got rewarded. So so that's interesting in the difference in strategies, right? Because Doesn't went for the no free progression dead checks for the high tier items, whereas Ficta went for more dragons, which would increase. They both increase the scaling the same amount, but one obviously gives you XP plus a top tier item, and one just gives you a top tier item. So interesting differences there. However, getting those fixed dice early on definitely helped propel Doesn't in the beginning of the match. Unfortunately, miscounts on his Phantom here, and that's going to be a mediocre to everybody.
Well, Edgar took a little bit of damage there right before he triggered his Atma attacks, so the miscalculation and the hard damage there, as Life 3 is going to come out, I believe. Oh, Celeste is still down, though.
Yeah, so you could either just plow through ahead, or you could try...
plow through and say, forget Sauce, yeah.
I hate to see it happen. He's still got Edgar, which is doing about 15,000 a turn at full health. So not all is lost yet. And he's got Setzer as well.
Yeah, Setzer's been the magic spell user for Ficta in this run, while Edgar picked up late, put the experience egg on them to get the Atma weapon going. But we have a dead realm and a dead Mog in the
The corpses of Realm and Mog has entered the battle. Yeah,
now,
so
Realm
that's.
does have X magic, by the way. She does have X magic. So
I don't know if
we can
she's
get her back
learned
up.
any. I don't know if she's learned any spells though, right? So.
Oh, and Setzer's taking DOT damage from tier 1. So he's actually has the seizure status, which is kind of a weird name, but for that. But yeah, it's doing 90 damage a tick here. So he only has 2 more ticks here before he's down.
He might have life 3 on him from earlier, because I think
it has not been triggered on him yet.
Yeah, so one of the downsides of the Phantom strategy is if you do not count your damage correctly, media will come out, and when you are vanished, magic will always hit. So that means, that was almost 18,000 for damage right there from Edgar. So magic will always hit. So Medio is not a very accurate spell. However, if you're vanished, it's always accurate.
We don't even need Havoc Wing. We're just slap you in the face there, I guess.
Yeah, being in the front row, probably with no armor, and Havoc Wing being the strongest physical attack in the game is never a good thing here.
No.
So Edgar's going to swing away here. Let's see what Setzer pulls out.
Oh, Mog was one of our starters, so he actually has Ice 3 on Mog.
And here comes Goner. So Edgar and Setzer will tank this. Mog will not. So now we have to either wait and heal our party up in order to not perhaps proc Ultima, because remember, once Kefka gets down below 10,000 HP, he can counter with Ultima, which is never fun. That's a definite party wipe at these HP levels.
But it's going to look to go quick double Ice 3, or at least 1 Ice 3 from Setzer, so that's going to drain his mana pool quite a bit. Oh, we got the Kapow anyways, he survives.
And there it is. The crack pow boom shaka laka 1:27:06 is the official time in Discord. So Ficta did tell me before the race that he does not have a microphone for an interview. Okay. So give him a GG's over in his chat there. That is his link, twitch.tv/Ficta. I think there's supposed to be another H in there.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yep. So let me correct that here. Does that work? Okay, Nightbot didn't destroy me. Excellent. So go tell Ficta what's up, and congratulations. Very tough pod. A very tough pod, as doesn't, like Saberwolf said, posted the 2 fastest times so far of the tournament. So it was not going to be an easy out, and he did give it a great race. Like I said, we were neck and neck for the first half hour of this race. So this is a great one to watch back. Even though it's a linear seed, it is still really fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes it's the randomizer, sometimes it's the choices you make, and yeah, that's what it came down to for this one. Well, we have our 4th racer here for our final. We still got 3 races going on tomorrow. I'm excited about that. I think you're restreaming one of them, right? Yeah.
So it's 2 1v1s at the same time. I think will be going on. I'm not really quite sure how it will work. I don't know if it's I know it's going to be 1 seed and 2 pods, but I don't know if it's 2 1v1s or if it's four racers in and 2 racers out sort of thing.
So Spicy Chicken, which is Dr. DTW Jones, they're going to face each other. And in Inferno, we have Zelfer and Seto Kiaba. They're going to face each other. Both of those are going to run the same exact seed at the same exact time. So you're going to see 4 race action. But Dr. DTWR Jones counts for them, and Zelfer and Seto Kiaba counts for them. So you're going to have one side of the screen is going to be one fight. The other side of the screen is going to be the other fight. And then after that, at 9 o'clock, I'll be restreaming the last pod race. That's going to be the Doom pod between Javinator and Green Monkey. That one's going to be a very close match. They've been neck and neck throughout the whole series here. So, yeah, I'm interested in that one, too.
Yeah, for sure. So, again, thank you to Speed Gaming 2 for having us on. We hope to be on every week here at this Wednesday time slot over on the Speed Gaming network of channels. Follow our runners, Dozen and Ficta. I have been the Schwantz27. That has been Saberwolf. And if you are interested, ff6wc.com is where you can find out information to actually get in and play what you just saw. So thank you very much, everybody. And we will catch you on the next race.
Goodbye, everybody.